We try to bring you high-quality educational and informational content every single day. Why do you think the price is having such an anemic time? The news story of the hour. Jump onto the chart. Is this the beginning of a massive financial unraveling? We've got to add a little addendum to the show map today, so we start here on the daily. Now, we've been looking at the RSI on Bitcoin's daily chart for the last several days. It always has been, but it's been increasing over the last 50 years since the government has been getting bigger. Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and welcome back to Coffee and Crypto Live. This is your weekdaily morning show where we bring you the latest and everything Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. And in today's episode, we are going to be talking about the crash that is happening right now on Bitcoin and where it will lead us over the next several weeks. We'll also be talking, of course, about how to generate wealth in the cryptocurrency space, because ultimately that is what we are all here to do, to become investors that build wealth in cryptocurrency. And let's talk a little bit about why that's so important. You see, curses go on from generation to generation. Something I've learned is that if you don't draw a line in the sand and say, this ends with me, then it won't. You feel that? You been there? I have. If you don't draw a line in the sand and say, this thing that my family has been doing, not talking about myself, for example, but drunkenness, lack of money, poverty, some kind of oppression, whatever it may be, whether you're the one doing the oppressing or you're the one being oppressed. If we don't draw a line in the sand and say, with me, this ends. This ran in the family until it ran into me. If we don't put our foot down and say, this is over, I will not pass this on to my children. If we don't put our foot down and say, enough is enough, then enough will never be enough for the chaos in our life. And so today, as we discuss how to invest and build wealth in the cryptocurrency space, especially in light of what is going on right now in Bitcoin, we've got to look at it from that standpoint. What generational curses are you trying to break? What did your father or your mother or your grandfathers or your grandmothers, what did they do that you're trying to stop? What did they do with money, for example? Were they terrible with money? Did they never run a budget? Did they never invest? Did they leave you with nothing but an absolute train wreck to clean up if they passed on? What are you running from? And what are you running towards? We've got to get really clear on that, because I have been doing this for a while. And I tell you what, I'm a numbers guy. I love numbers. And I get so nerdy about the numbers of we're investing this much and the YouTube channel's doing this many views and this, that, and that, and that. Sometimes I get so caught up in the numbers because they're easy to see. And they're real, and they're right there, and you can see them, that I sometimes fail to remember that you've got to take heart if you want change in your life. You've got to take heart and say, this is going to change. I am going to champion this. I am going to be a man. I am going to be a woman, because they both ought to carry the same level of wow factor, right? I am changing this, me. With God's help, God help me. I am going to do it your way and not that way anymore. I'm doing it this way. I will be financially sovereign over my money. I will be sovereign over myself and be self-controlled. I will put an end to the nonsense that's been going on for generations in my family, whatever it may be in yours, whatever it may be in mine. We've got to put our foot down and say, enough's enough. It ends with me. My children will stand on my shoulders, so by God, I'm going to stand as tall as I can so that they can peer over what the walls that I was never able to see over, and they're able to see a lot farther than I ever could. Let's read some chat. Welcome to the stream, everybody who's just tuned in. Sean O'Brien is here. Joe Bollier's in chat. Coin Operator's in chat. Philly Skills 1428 coming in. Schmedley B, called out. You're getting called out. Said, Ayo, what's up? Brian is in chat. Jacqueline Coronado is in chat. Coronado, I think I said that right. Coronado. It's not a rolling R, it's only one R. Coronado is in chat. Dimitri Beast, Alex Nibo, Shaq with the combo. Larry Sneer said, Larry in chat looking for some positivity. Boom. Financial sovereignty or nothing. Bottom is not in. Bottom is not in. Don't be stupid. We'll talk about it. Aaron, what is that? Where the wrench is at. The Lord is with you, brother. He is, absolutely. Turbit said, discipline and patience. Don't sell, guys. It's riskier to be out of the market than in the market. Saludos, Jeb. Thank you for all the knowledge you provide. Muchas gracias. Gainesville represent. Gainesville represent. Shout out to you, Joel. Good to see you, my friend. All right. Let's get started. We've got to talk about CoinMarketCap for a second, but I got a really cool graphic to show you in a minute coming from Michael Saylor that I want you guys to see, so stay tuned for that. Bitcoin is currently up 1.84% in the last 24 hours. The question on the table is, are we going to drop farther? We are currently sitting at $58,000, down 8% in the last 7 days. We have been hovering here right at around the $58,000 range, $56,000 to $58,000 range for the last few days. Ethereum sitting right below $3,000 at $2,956. It is up 2.3% in the last 24 hours, down 5.6% in the last 7 days. Many of the altcoins are rallying, many of them even outpacing Bitcoin. Solana is making a comeback, trading at $135, up 10% on the day. Cardano up 3% on the day, and many of your favorite altcoins are rallying on the day despite being down on the week. The question that the entire market is asking right now is this drop over, end quote? Is this corrective movement over? We're not sure. I've got reason to believe that there's more to go, but we'll see. Not quite sure yet. We're going to discuss that. Before we go any farther, though, I want to pull up something from Michael Saylor that he posted. And he really just kind of did a mic drop. Let's just put it like that with Bitcoin. I want to show you something. Pull it up. I should have had this up already. Shouldn't be far back. Yeah. Let's watch this little video that he posted on X. Bitcoin as a store of value. Hopefully you'll be able to see this. So this is, I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see this, so I'm going to make it small screen. This is Bitcoin at the top. And then these are other markets. The S&P 500, US real estate, gold, US dollar, the Nigerian naira, the Turkish lira, and the Argentine peso. This is, I'm not sure if you can see that all the way over there, but Bitcoin's at 100%. This is starting on 2 halvings ago, the second halving, July 9th, 2016. Bitcoin as the mainline store of value here. You can see how quickly the other assets in this chart are dropping in comparison to Bitcoin. Notice this is on a logarithmic scale. Like, it's that crazy. It's on a logarithmic scale. Within a year of the halving, the Bitcoin market had already rallied twice as fast as the S&P 500. Keep moving here, and you'll see what I'm talking about. I'm going to zoom out here in just a second. This is only about a 50-second long clip, but I want to make a point here that Bitcoin has been outperforming every other market for a very long time. Should you be investing in the S&P 500? Yes. Bitcoin won't always outperform the S&P, but for now it is. Bitcoin has always outperformed the United States dollar. You can see the US dollar there down at 1% of Bitcoin's value. Bitcoin has rallied 100 times over the dollar's value in the 4 years between 2016 and 2020. You can see their values continue to dip as Bitcoin went into its bull market in 2021. All of those markets start to gain against Bitcoin here in just a moment as a result of the fact that Bitcoin was going into a bear market, but Bitcoin is still vastly farther ahead of them. And you can see that they started to dip once again moving into 2023 as Bitcoin is vastly far above them. You can see that the dollar percentage compared to Bitcoin's percentage when the percentage of original value relative to Bitcoin on July 9th, 2016, the US dollar's relative value to Bitcoin going back to July 9th, 2016, that's 8 years ago, to now, is 0.028. Not sure if you can see that down there. 0.028. All of these other assets, and again, this is on a log scale. If this were not a log scale, they'd all be basically flatline down here. Most of these markets are sitting down here at 0. I'm sorry, that's the Argentine peso. The US dollar is at 1.53%. All of them are sitting right down here at almost 0. So you get my point. Bitcoin has massively outperformed everything else. Should we be super concerned about this crash? No. No. Heck no, we shouldn't. Not a chance in heck. It's not a problem. It's not something we need to super worry about. What we do need to consider is how we should approach investing in this market. So Bitcoin has been crashing. At the same time, it's not going to crash forever, and it's been outpacing everything for a very long time if you give it a long enough time to run. In markets, in the stock market, the general wisdom, and I agree with this wisdom, is that if you're going to invest in the S&P 500 for less than a year, don't do it. Keep it in cash or near cash equivalents like bonds or a money market account or a high yield savings account. Because if you invest in the stock market hoping for a return in the next 12 months, oftentimes you're going to be disappointed. That being said, there's not many times at all in the last several decades that you have seen the S&P 500 not be worth more 5 years after you bought it. The one exception is that if you bought it right here at the top in 2000, obviously you get up to 08 and then you had to recuperate your value and then you had to wait about 10 years, right? There's not many instances where if you wait 5 years, you're not in profit. in the S&P 500. It's a very similar story. It's becoming a very similar story and has been a very similar story for a while in Bitcoin now. If you buy Bitcoin and hold it for 5 years, you're almost certainly going to be in profit. So we've got to lengthen out our time horizon. It's not a matter of saying, oh, what's my risk tolerance? Oh, what's my time horizon? No, you need to adjust your risk tolerance and you need to adjust your time horizon, whether up or down on both of those variables, to what is wise in the market. What the market tells us is that if we hold these assets for 5 years, they will be worth more than they were when we bought them. That is what the market is telling us, in large part. There's a few exceptions, not many. You got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, it drops down to almost zero. Right? If you're buying Bitcoin right now on this dip, I want you to grit your teeth and steel yourself and say, it could go lower. But I believe in 5 years, it'll be worth more than $58,000. By the way, it'll probably be worth more than $58,000 in like 5 weeks. It's probably not going to be that big of a dip. I don't think it's going to be. I think the lowest we go is $47,000. People have been laughing at me for saying that number was in the cards for a while now, but they were also laughing when we said it could go to 56, and that's exactly what we just did a couple of days ago. If it does go down to 47, then we continue to buy more, proportional to our investment plan. Now, I don't want you having your entire investment in cryptocurrency. I want you to have some investment in the stock market as well, and I also want you to be paying off your house. Those are 3 different areas that I want you to be investing in. That being said, if you're doing this wisely and you have retirement accounts and you are paying off your house and you have no debt and you want to build out some more wealth in crypto, then you're approaching it from the right angle. Crypto should be additive to an already healthy personal financial picture. Then continue to invest in Bitcoin. Sure, you're going to be in great shape because of it, but will this crash continue for much longer? Let's discuss. Well, as you can see, we made the prediction a couple of weeks ago that Bitcoin was in this ascending trading channel, and it was probably going to lead to a breakout to the downside, and it would probably lead us to about $55,000 to $56,000, which is where this uptrending level of support is. So far, we've dropped down to $56,400. We haven't quite gotten down to our original price target, but we've gotten very close. We drew these, we started drawing these predictions back when the market looked like this, and the market has obliged us, shall we say. We zoom forward here, you'll see the market has pretty much followed through with what we did. Now, of course, we adjusted these uptrending trend lines here a little bit while they were being built, because naturally they changed a little bit, but we expected there be a ABC corrective wave against the primary bull market, and that looks something like this. We likened that to the correction that Bitcoin saw, the bear market crash that Bitcoin saw in 2021 and 2022, where we had a, B, C corrective movement just like this, with a bear flag constituting the majority of that time frame. So will we drop farther from here? Well, the interesting thing about where we are right now is that we're right there in the LUX Algo take profit. If you guys have not already, make sure to sign up for LUX Algo. Links in the description box down below, or you can go to luxalgo.com/Jeb and get access to our very own Crypto Jeb oscillator. But LUX Algo gives us a sell signal right there. That sell signal indicates that Bitcoin's going to go down. LUX Algo buy and sell signals are very rarely wrong. One just was recently, but they are exceptionally rarely wrong. And so when this L signal came in earlier April, about April 11th, we were very confident, because of the track record that this indicator has, that Bitcoin was going to go to its take profit. So we started predicting back over here that Bitcoin was going to go down to $55,000. And part of the reason for that was also because we believe that Bitcoin would drop down to this uptrending level of support right here that Bitcoin has been building the entire market on for the last several years, the last couple of years. And so now that's what's occurred. Is this drop over? I'm not convinced of it yet. I want to see a lot more uptrend first. I think that we're going to come back down and test $55,000 at least to touch the uptrending level of support. From there, there's a very high likelihood that we will bounce and hover there. What I will say is that over the last few days, Crypto Jeb Oscillator, our very own oscillator developed in partnership with LUX Algo, has indicated some bearish price action. And that bearish price action, bearish momentum, has led us into this understanding where the bears have picked up strength, right? So the bears have picked up strength, and so that indicates that we may be seeing, more corrective movement from here. I'm not convinced the bottom is in other words. We'll continue to talk a little bit about where Bitcoin's going to go and how to continue to profit and build wealth in this market. Now, guys, before we continue on here, I do want to let you know that today's stream is brought to you in part by NordVPN, and I highly encourage you to sign up. And the reason for that is because when you sign up for NordVPN, with the link in the description box down below, you're going to be getting a big discount by going to nordvpn.com/Jeb, and you'll be getting a big discount on the 2-year plan, which will allow you to stay safe and protected for the duration of the bull market. You see, one of the worst things you can do in cryptocurrency is to have your information get out there and somebody hack you and steal your funds. NordVPN is going to help to keep you private and safe and secure by keeping you invisible, by rerouting your internet traffic and your search traffic and everything so that hackers and thieves and data brokers and all of them can't see you. It's a very useful product. Please make sure to check it out with the link down below. Let's read a little bit of chat. John West donated $2, said XCN, please. XCN. Onyx coin down at 561. Already not that interested in it when it's down at 561. Somebody over here says beautiful chart destined to moon. Really? Uh-huh. Yeah, so this is when I see a chart like this, this makes me instantly say no. Makes me instantly say no. Why? Well, I just shot a video for the Financial Sovereignty Academy, which is in development behind the scenes. One of the principles that I teach there is never, in all caps, never invest in something that does not already have a proven track record and business model. Thus far, the track record of this coin, which I have no idea about, I don't understand, I don't know anything about this coin. So far, the track record of this coin is rallying to 18 cents and then dropping below a hundredth of below a tenth of below 2/10 of a penny. This does not scream something that I want to invest in. This screams penny stock that had a little bit of interest at one point in time, and now it's not really doing anything. I've got no interest in that chart. I am not even going to look at the website. I don't know what it is. It's on Coinbase. It seems like it had done well in the last bull market, kind of. This is not a chart that I invest in. I would never, ever, ever put money in this. Nothing against people that developed it. Nothing against you if you bought some of it, but I would never, ever, ever buy that. You would not be able to pay me to buy that. I would turn around and sell it. Morning Jeb from University of North Florida, I think it is. Crypto Boomer said. Is that it? UNF? Is that what you're trying to say? University of North Florida? Seminole? We got Seminole in chat. Well, we live in the land of the Gators, so come on down to the swamp. No, I'm just kidding. Even a rocket ship starts with a spark. Yep, that's right. Hi, what about Ada Jeb? Great question. We'll look at that in just a second. Shadrach Frost said, please smash that like button right away. It takes a second. It really helps this channel give back the love and support that Jeb brings to us on a daily basis. Thank you, friends. John Doe said, that's misleading. Crypto loses value big time in the same year. Until now, with ETFs, Bitcoin might hold some value, bounces like a ping pong. He's talking about this, John Doe is talking about this chart that we discussed here. You can see that it's on the log chart. And so the way that I can kind of show you, because one of these charts is actually, one of those charts that it showed I can actually bring up, would be the S&P, the SPY. If you chart the SPY over Bitcoin, and we make it regular. Actually, it's not going to do it because it's not going to scale it proportionally. So never mind. It's not going to do it correctly. If you were to be able to scale this proportionally, I mean, the S&P 500 has doubled in price here. So like, here we go. The S&P 500, since about 2014, has rallied by 150%. We went from 200 to 500. It's a 150% movement. Bitcoin, since 2014, has rallied from $260 to $64,000. That is a 24,000% movement. 24,000% movement. So this comparison tool that TradingView is using is likening them the same. Let's see if I can change that. I don't think I'm going to be able to change that to a linear. It's not going to let me do it. Yeah, oh well. But nevertheless, you can see that they're trying to bring them together. Bitcoin has rallied 24,000% in the time that the stock market has rallied 150%. People think, well, why should I invest in the stock market if Bitcoin's going to outperform it that much? Bitcoin's not going to do another 24,000% movement. If Bitcoin rallied another 24,000%, it would be worth like quadrillions of dollars. Like it's absolutely silly. It'd be worth 100,000. Yeah, it'd be worth $12.5 million, which very well may happen at some point, but I doubt that's going to happen in the next 10 years, right? It's a good idea to invest in the stock market, even if you could beat it somewhere else, because the risk to reward ratio you have to calculate as well. That being said, that explains where this chart came from. Because at the end of this chart, the S&P 500 is sitting at 4% the value of Bitcoin when it was starting. Yes, Bitcoin went through corrective movements, but those corrective movements show up here in the chart. So Bitcoin has outperformed everything. Will it do that forever? Probably not. It probably won't. Eventually, Bitcoin will stabilize, and it will grow at probably 10 to 12% a year. Something like that. but won't continue forever. All right. Let's read a little bit more chat, and then we're going to wrap that out. Praise the Lord for financial freedom. Absolutely. You said the same thing about ICP chart as its lows, and now you own ICP. So, the difference between ICP and this is that Onyx Coin is worth $55 million. It's ranked number 561. ICP is ranked number 19. It's worth $6 billion and has an actual project being built on it. This chart only looks this way because of the stupid value that it IPO'd at. This was absolutely asinine, the way that it IPO'd. It was ridiculous. So it wasn't a fair comparison. If you look here, you can see that ICP has almost recaptured its 2021 highs of about $10 to $11 billion. It's getting back to that point. The only reason that ICP looks like this is because it ICO'd. It ICO'd at $30 billion in market cap. It was a dumb level for it to ICO at. It should never have ICO'd at $400. But it has been gradually coming back on market cap, and that is the exciting thing about that. The one thing I do have against ICP is, of course, it does have an infinite supply. It does not have a maximum supply, similar to what we're seeing with like Solana, for example. Yes, University of North Florida. Shout out to UNF. Look at Cardano before you end, please. Yes, we shall. Building large Caspa holdings is correction. Cool. Cool. All right, guys, let's take a look at ADA. People seem to be quite interested in Cardano. Let's check this out real quick. Returns after 1 year of the halving. 1 year after halving. Elja Boom said, 2012, 7,851% return after 1 year. 2016, 279% return after 1 year of 1 year after the halving. 2020, 594% return after 1 year after the halving. 2024, what will it be? Tell me in chat, what do you guys think will occur a year after the halving? As you can see on this tweet right here, 90 days after the halving, we actually did not see much movement at all during the first, second, and third halving, 90 days out. Even on the second and third halving, the 2016 and the 2020 halvings, we didn't see much movement within 180 days. It took a full year. It took about 6 months. This is what I've been telling you also, and you guys have seen this on the channel. But you get the point here. Especially if you get rid of that first halving when Bitcoin was trading at like dollars, like it was like 3 digits. It was in the hundreds of dollars back in 2012. Actually, it might have been in the tens of dollars. Might have been like $60. We'd have to go back and look. Little bit before my time, not much before my time, but a little bit before my time here in crypto. If you take out those, the average for 90 days after the halving was a rally of like 20%. The average for the rally at 180 days, 6 months after the halving. Remember, the halving happened less than a month ago, guys. Was about 56 and 82. What's the average of that? Like 64? 64? Do I have that right? Whatever the number is, 63, 62? 62 might be. Anyway, 64. The point is, when Bitcoin goes through a halving event, it typically doesn't lead to a rally immediately. It typically does 6 months later. So we've got to be patient and use this as time to accumulate. Now, let's look down here at Cardano. Cardano is sitting at 45 cents. Quite excited about that. I want to see more activity on Cardano. I want to see it rally more. It's got good tokenomics. It's got a maximum supply, which is wonderful because a lot of layer ones don't. The only other one that really seems to have a maximum supply would be Ethereum. Although it does not have a maximum supply, it has a burn rate, which causes it to have a limit on its supply, but that could change. I doubt it, but it could. And then we also have here Cardano with 45 billion as a max supply and 37 billion that have been released into the total supply. So that means that it's not going to be super inflationary. Okay? That's important. I'm very excited about that. As you can see here, CoinMarketCap added these different kind of tickers right here. For example, Alonzo brings smart contracts. Basil Upgrade brings, which there's a typo in that, Brigands. Basil Upgrade Brigands. Oh, CoinMarketCap. Just like all of us in crypto, you're still trying to get your stuff together. Mary brings multi-asset support, etc. But anyway, it is growing, and we are very excited about it. But it is going to take time. Now, here's the deal with Cardano. Let's go over here and look at Cardano on the charts. Cardano has a lot of catching up to do. And also has a lot of structural support where it is right now. 40 to 42 cents has a lot of structural support. I made a video about 4 months ago They said Cardano is going to go to 77 cents and then it's going to drop to 40 cents. Who remembers that? Who remembers that video? Remember that video? See if I can find that video. It's exactly what Cardano did. Like, we get it wrong sometimes. Like I said, I'm not going to sit here and say that I get it right every time, because I don't. We get it right sometimes. We get it wrong sometimes, excuse me. We got that one right. Like, where is this video? It was back in, I think it was right here. Yep. Got some people doing trade. This is 3 months ago. I believe it was in this video. No, actually, it wasn't this one. It was a different video. Anyway, there was a video where we said it was going to go to 77 cents. Then it was going to drop down to 40 cents. And that's what we're saying is happening. There's strong support down there. And that is the exciting thing. Marcus said, wow, Jeb, are you calling yourself Bitcoin Jesus? Remember Matthew? No, I'm not. There is a article on Roger Ver that we're going to be getting to. That's why I put it in scare quotes, because I don't really like the whole quote-unquote Bitcoin Jesus thing. There's one Jesus, and there's not a Bitcoin Jesus. His name is Roger Ver. But anyway, there's a news article that we're going to talk about in a second on that. As far as Cardano is concerned, though, 40 cents seems to be holding well. It has dropped dramatically. So we've cut in half by almost 48%. The fact is, we've got bearishness here. CJO, the Crypto Jeb Oscillator, called a bearish divergence. Here you can see the bearish divergence, uptrending levels of higher highs and then lower highs on CJO down here led to a drop on CJO, indicating that it was going to go into this correction. Will it drop from here? I kind of doubt it. I think Cardano's probably, for the most part, bottomed. It could go lower. There's a lot of support. Like, there's a lot of support down here, because Cardano sat here and traded below 40 cents for so long, built so much structural support down there. If you're trying to accumulate Cardano, not a bad idea to buy some right now. But again, I highly recommend investing in cryptocurrencies that you can hold for 5 years and have a very strong chance of making a return. Even if you don't beat your other assets, I want you to hold markets that you have every reason to believe will be worth more in 5 years than they are right now. That's one of the ways you're going to succeed. All right, now, let's talk a little bit about that quote-unquote Bitcoin Jesus article. Again, I don't really like that name, but that's what people know him as. Before we do, I do want to let you know about Vault. If you guys don't already know, Vault is a new service that's being announced, that's being launched by Uphold, and it allows you to securely store your Bitcoin in self-custody with 3 keys. The way this works is that any of these 2 keys can unlock your vault. And the reason that's so important is because, 1, if you lose one of them, Uphold can give you the Uphold key so that you can get back into your wallet. 2, it also allows for you to access instant trading on Uphold. So you get 24/7 access to instant trading. So make sure to check that out with the link in the description box down below. Very, very excited to bring Vault on and Uphold on, or Vault anyway, on as a sponsor. All right, let's talk a little bit about that project. Matthew 23:12. Funny you should mention Matthew 23:12. He who humbles himself will be exalted, but he who exalts himself will be humbled. That was the first verse I ever memorized, Marcus. I memorized that verse before I was baptized. That was the first verse of Scripture I ever memorized. So, have I forgotten Matthew 23:12? I think not. He who humbles himself will be exalted, but he who exalts himself will be humbled. I am certainly not calling myself Bitcoin Jesus, and anybody who would call themselves Jesus is a fake. Because by gosh, you will know when he comes. Anyway, the DOJ charges quote-unquote Bitcoin Jesus, a.k.a. his actual name, Roger Ver, with $48 million of tax fraud, seeking extradition. This is hilarious. For anybody who doesn't know who Roger Ver is, he was the once beloved evangelist for cryptocurrency, hence the name Bitcoin Jesus. People called him Bitcoin Jesus because he made a documentary, which I watched like 7 years ago on Bitcoin. It was one of the first things I ever watched when I got into the cryptocurrency space. And Ver was, I suppose is, still a big fan of Bitcoin. Kind of. Roger Ver was one of the individuals that led the Bitcoin Cash rebellion because, of course, making it an 8 megabyte block size is going to fix all of Bitcoin's problems. Who needs SegWit 2x, right? Forget that. We're going to hard fork the project, and we're going to increase the block size to 8 megabytes, because if everybody doesn't agree with exactly what we say, then we're going to pitch a hissy fit, and we're going to refork Bitcoin. Time tells you whether something is wise. In Jesus' words, wisdom is justified by her children. Is what Roger Ver did wise? Was it wise? Well, Bitcoin Core, they call it. I just call it Bitcoin because it's the actual freaking Bitcoin. And here's the other thing. With Bitcoin Cash, they also tried to pretend like Bitcoin Cash was the original Bitcoin. It's like what? That's like the colonies rebelling against Great Britain, which fine. All right, if you want to rebel, go for it, I guess. But then saying, no, we're Great Britain, you're an imposter. What? You just pull the switcheroo on me. Like, that's not how that works. It's so stupid. And Roger Ver is one of the people leading this nonsense. Complete and utter nonsense of Bitcoin Cash. So, wisdom is justified of her children. That's what Jesus Christ himself says. Not what Bitcoin, quote-unquote, Jesus says. That's what Jesus Christ of Nazareth, the Son of God, the Messiah, says. Wisdom is justified of her children. When somebody asked, why do you eat and drink like a wine-bibber and a glutton? Which he wasn't. They say, well, you follow John the Baptist, and John the Baptist ate locusts. But wisdom is justified of our children. We both brought converts to the kingdom. Bitcoin itself, the real Bitcoin, is worth $59,000, and it's 20% down. Let's scroll and scroll and scroll. Oh, look, Bitcoin Cash. It's worth $420. My friends, Bitcoin itself, 6.5 years ago, almost 7 years ago, when Bitcoin Cash hard forked, Bitcoin Core, if you will, just to differentiate them, but I'm just going to call it Bitcoin. Bitcoin was worth over $3,000. Bitcoin Cash, since the hard fork, has not one time ever rallied to be worth more than Bitcoin. When Bitcoin went to $20,000, Bitcoin Cash went to $3,000. There was a lot of confusion in the space back then. Oh, is Bitcoin Cash going to take over? No, because it's not the real Bitcoin. It's not the real Bitcoin. It's a load of nonsense. And so when I saw this article, I said to myself, oh my goodness, I have got to cover this. Because sometimes what goes around comes around. To use the Jesus analogy, once again, Jesus Christ of Nazareth himself also said, beware ye of false prophets who come in my name. But you will know when I come, because I will come in riding on the clouds. You will know exactly who Jesus is when he shows up. You'll have no mistake about it. You will know exactly who he is. To continue the Bitcoin Jesus analogy, when you look at these charts, many shall come bearing his name. There will be false prophets that come in those days, but you will know who the real one is. And it is the real Bitcoin. Let's talk about the charges. This face says it all right here. This is like hang on, this is the, here, I'm going to type this face in chat. All right, you ready for this? There, I put it in chat. Go check the chat. That's Roger Ver's face right there. Like, really? DOJ announced criminal tax fraud charges against a prolific Bitcoin investor named Roger Ver, who came to be known as Bitcoin Jesus for getting in early on digital currency and making a fortune. DOJ alleged in charges on that Ver. DOJ alleged in charges on that Ver evaded. Like, what is that even a typo from? DOJ alleged in... This is from CNBC, guys. This is like official stuff right here. DOJ alleged in charges on that Ver evaded at least $48 million in taxes. Whoo! Yikes. Ver was arrested in Spain over the weekend and is being extradited to the United States to face criminal trial. The Justice Department unveiled criminal tax fraud charges this week against a prolific Bitcoin investor named Roger Ver. He allegedly evaded $48 million in taxes. The indictment filed in a Californian federal court claims that Ver executed the fraud scheme by failing to report a portion of the 131,000 Bitcoin that he owned in 2014. Yeah, he owned 131,000 Bitcoin. And he decided to go ahead and hard fork Bitcoin. It's just complete nonsense. Complete and total nonsense. The dude would be one of the richest people on planet Earth if he had just held it. By the way, remember how I said buy it and hold it and don't ever sell it? If I'd have been able to give you that advice 10 years ago and you actually did it, oh my goodness, how much money would you have right now? Leave your investments alone. That's one of the principles of investment. Buy it, hold it, don't freaking touch it. Please. When he renounced his U.S. citizenship after becoming a citizen of the Caribbean nation of St. Kitts and Nevis, at that time, each Bitcoin was worth roughly $871. It was trading Wednesday morning at $57,000, which would make his 131,000 Bitcoin worth more than $7.5 billion. Becoming a U.S. expatriate requires an individual to pay a special tax to the Internal Revenue Service. It's basically a way of the United States taxing people that are trying to leave the country because they built their wealth in the United States and they want as much of it as they can to stay in the United States. The indictment further, Ver underrepresented his Bitcoin holdings and evaded taxes on them. So, the indictment further alleges that even after his expatriation from the United States, Veer continued to underreport his Bitcoin ownership, which he was still required to pay the U.S. taxes on. Goes around, comes around. Nice job, Jeb. Thank you. Jesus is a common name in other countries. Yes, Jesus. No, I've got nothing wrong with somebody named Jesus. I know people named Jesus. No, I tell you one, I was walking out of Walmart one time, and this Hispanic guy named Jesus was the greeter at Walmart. I said, "Hey, how you doing?" And I kid you not, this is exactly what he said to me. He said, just waiting to get the hell out of here. Excuse my French. And I've been telling people for years, even Jesus said he couldn't wait to get out of Walmart. It's on his name tag. The guy still works there. I love him. I see him every time we, for some reason, have to go in there. And you see his name's Jesus, right? It's pronounced Jesus, but I tell people, it's so funny. Oh, my goodness. My bad about that. That's what I read like. Yeah, Marcus, it probably did read like that. But I'll go ahead and put that in quotes. Roger Veer. I'll go ahead and put that in brackets. Oh, my gosh. Yep. All right. So let's read a little bit of chat, and then we'll continue on. Thanks for keeping us grounded and sane, Jeb. HE double hockey sticks. Oh, my goodness. Hell is not a curse word. Hell is a place. It can be used in a very mean way. That's why I teach my son. I'm like, Malachi, stupid's not a word. There are some things in this life that are just plain stupid. Calling somebody stupid, let's avoid that, because most people are a lot smarter than they maybe give on, right? Stupid's not a curse word. Neither is hell. They can be used in cursing ways. Hell is a destination. And one that I very much want all of you to avoid, that I definitely have no intention of going to. All right. I also want to let you guys, let's read a little bit more chat, and then we'll keep it moving here. Will the real Bitcoin please stand up? And then it rallied 2,000%. Bitcoin has rallied 2,000% since I got into space. When I got into cryptocurrency, Bitcoin was trading at $2,900. Buy it, hold it, don't freaking touch it. Wish I had done more than that. Wish I had done more than that. He renounced his citizenship. Oh, that was too funny. I will never forget that guy in Walmart telling me that. It's like, I knew it. I knew that there was something in me that didn't want to be here. God, I can't stand Walmart. I feel so bad for Walmart. I'm going to get off on a soapbox for a second. I feel so bad for everybody who loves Walmart, because Walmart used to be good. Sam Walton was a good Christian man, and that man was intent on making sure. Is it a place, state of circumstance? It's both, actually. It's a state of being away from God is what hell is. So you can have hell on earth. The further you are from God, the more that you are in hell, even on earth. Hell is something you can experience on earth, but it gets a whole lot worse after you end. After the world, after your life ends, if you don't surrender to Christ. I'm always more than happy to talk to you guys about that more if you'd like. Now, with Walmart, Sam Walton really does. He was very serious about customer service, and it's gone downhill a lot. Very sad. Very, very sad. Guys, I do also want to let you know that today's stream is brought to you in part by Crypto.com. If you guys have not already signed up for Crypto.com, I'd like to say that it should be inevitable that you should. And the reason for that is because this is the exchange where people that are trying to make a change in their life go to buy and use cryptocurrencies. If you go to Crypto.com, with a link in the description box down below, but you got to use the link down there. If you go down there, you're going to be getting access to the world's premier crypto trading platform that will allow you to begin buying and selling cryptocurrencies. And also, it'll be a great place for you to set up your recurring purchases so you can build out your portfolio. Continue to invest in the cryptocurrency space and do it on Crypto.com. No better place. All right. Let's see. Tom, I love it. I love reading hate comments. Tom Arnert said the clown is back, and clown emoji, after his loads of Bitcoin get ready to boom videos. What a joke. You see, the funny thing about that is that if you buy Bitcoin and you hold it for more than 5 years, it will always be worth more than it is now. At least that's what's pretty much always happened throughout history. Here's the fact. The fact of the matter is Bitcoin is always looking bullish. Have you ever noticed that? If you give it enough, if you set the time frame, Bitcoin is always looking bullish. By the way, I love it when you guys disagree with me. I love a debate, man. I was so, depending on which side you were on, popular or hated in high school, because I would argue with you about anything. This is before I was a Christian, so people would come to me, they'd say something, they'd just get on my, they'd say something, and I'd debate them, and they'd get so annoyed at me. I feel bad now because I was being contentious is what I was being, and argumentative, which is wrong. But I remember in speech and debate class, it was bad. It was bad. It was over. It was just, I was like, oh, wait, I'm actually supposed to debate now? Oh, man, here we go. I set up the other team so that they actually, yeah, this is a funny story. The other debate team, we were debating something, Andrew Jackson. We were debating about Andrew Jackson. And I was on the side of defending Andrew Jackson. If you guys don't know, Andrew Jackson was the president that ordered the Trail of Tears. He ordered the Trail of Tears. So to win the debate, this again, before I was a Christian, this might not have been fair, but I actually got them to do it. I was like, look, we should define what years we're allowed to talk about when we are doing this debate. And so the other team, we came to an agreement on what years we were allowed to discuss during the debate and what was allowed to be admissible in the debate. And we decided, for fairness, that I think what it was is that it would be during his presidency, because we were discussing the presidency of Andrew Jackson. So they got ready, and they started out with exactly what I knew they were going to say. Andrew Jackson was a bad president because he ordered the Trail of Tears. And I said, objection. We agreed that we cannot talk about things that happened before his presidency. And they were like, it was really funny. I'm sorry. I love to debate people. So if you got something that you don't like, go for it. I love to debate you. I love you. Back then, I was just trying to be prideful and flex and that. But I love you guys. I will debate you for your own good. Either I will debate you to show you that that you're wrong in something and you need to change your perspective on it so that you will grow, or so that maybe I'll learn and maybe I'm wrong, right? That's some humility I didn't have back in high school. And also, I happen to win you guys over quite often when I actually read your hate comments, because a lot of times you guys are just trying to get attention, and ultimately, you've got something fair that you want addressed. So fun. Drian 12-1 said, you ignored my paid comment. I'm so sorry. Oh, right. Wads Pay WTK got approved for Vara license. Good. Yeah. In Dubai. I'd have to look more into this before I could comment on it. I'd have to look more into this. I'm not familiar with the company. It is a big B2B, as far as I know a little bit about the company, but I'm not the most versed in it. Ultimately, getting regulatory approval anywhere is a good deal, especially even in somewhere like Dubai. Dubai is a pretty big cryptocurrency haven, so in general, I'd say yeah, it's a good thing, but I'm a little bit out of my depth on that one. Props for saying my name right, and I'm DCA in Bitcoin and alts. Lulliman since 2020 and never bought the top. Good for you. But putting out dozens of Bitcoin to new all-time high when you know a big correction is coming is putting out fake news. So when are you talking about then? What areas are you saying that I did that? Because the last 1, 2, 3 videos, 1, 2, 3 videos, 4 videos on the channel have all been videos of me saying Bitcoin's going to $55,000. Yeah. There's another video that I said the bottom's close, and we were talking about $55,000, I think. Bitcoin halving will moonshot Bitcoin. We talked about a $200,000 Bitcoin, but we were talking about that being a year and a half out. So, people say that. They're like, Jeb, you're inconsistent in things. I've been wrong, right? I've been wrong before, plenty of times. But inconsistent, I don't know if that's the case. All right. Bitcoin going to new all-time high. Relax, bro. Yes, it will. It will go to new all-time high. It's going to take time, but it's going to get there. All right, guys, we are going to wrap it out. I hope you have all enjoyed today's stream. Make sure to hit that like button if you have not already. I can't even pronounce that. That's in Cyrillic. I am so sorry. I have no idea how to pronounce Cyrillic characters. Said, may God be with you and your family, Jeb. Keep doing what you are doing. Thank you so much. my friend. I will call you my friend. Thank you so much, my friend, for that. You guys are awesome. And thank you, everybody, for the super chats and the likes and everything. And stay tuned. We got a lot of new content coming. Like I said, we're going to wrap it out. Before we go, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.